Brendan Allen just submitted Paul Craig and didn't get some like Hail Mary submission or anything like that. He dominated him on the ground, won the majority of the exchanges other than a couple of moments, which I'll get into. Paul Craig actually had a good calf slicer to get away from a potential rear naked choke that Brendan Allen went for. But this was Paul Craig's second submission loss in his career. His first was to Jimmy Crute. So Brendan Allen's not the first guy to submit Paul Craig, but he did it so dominantly in a Paul Craig that seems to be better than ever before. A guy who submitted Jamal Hill, a guy who submitted Magomed Ankalaev, a guy who submitted Nikita Krylov and TKO'd Andre Muniz, a legitimately high-level grappler, and Brendan Allen may be the best at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the entire middleweight division. If you go to the ground with this guy, you're going to pay. And I wonder how his kind of style can match up with someone like Hamzat or a later Bo Nickel. But they better get to him quick because Brendan Allen is only 27 years old, most likely not in his prime, and he's getting results like this. His striking does need a little bit of fine tuning because he has a left hook opening. He likes to throw that 1-2 from a distance and opens his right side before he throws it. Even a guy who strikes like Paul Craig was able to land a good left hook on Brendan Allen and stun him. This was shown twice throughout the fight, in the second round and the third round. You know the striking was only happening in the beginning of those rounds. You saw oftentimes, even in the third round, he still showed the same kind of opening. When he's looking to throw the right hand, before the punch comes out there, you can see that big opening on Brendan Allen's right side. And in this scenario, Craig does not hit him with the hook, he hits him with the jab. But in the second round, he does crack him with the left hook. And it all started in the first round where Paul Craig was trying to find some opening against the fence through his clinch, and Allen was able to angle off to his own left side by using that left bicep control that he has right there and turning Paul Craig with his right hand. He walks backwards, guiding Paul Craig into a body knee, chaining that together with a hip throw while only having that right whizzer in there. He lets go of the left grip and only holds onto that right overhook, tripping out and throwing Paul Craig over and immediately getting it to full mount while landing an elbow. This is quite a combination from Brendan Allen that you don't normally see from fighters. A body knee into a hip throw, full mount, elbow. What an MMA style combination right there from Brendan Allen. Notice Paul Craig's lockdown on Allen's left leg. This is the story of everything Paul Craig was establishing off of his back. It's a defensive technique to throw off any kind of offense the opponent has on him, and he used it to go to a calf slicer, not originally to counter the rear naked choke. He reached forward for the leg before Allen even attempted the choke. So he was going for this as an offensive technique to not only threaten the submission attempt, but to find a way back up to his feet as well, just in case. And Brendan Allen's response to this was a rear naked choke. Look at this position. Allen's got a blood choke in, it's deep, and Paul Craig is threatening him with a calf slicer so badly that it forces Allen to give up his secured submission. These things hurt very badly. What Allen did to get out of this was he reached for Paul Craig's legs, his lock right there, allowing himself to hold on to something, and at the same time, he creates leverage for himself to kick open the grip on the calf slicer. Look with his right foot. He has his heel under Craig's forearms and just kicks straight forward, breaking the grip completely, getting out of the calf slicer. Allen goes to try to get up, and Paul Craig grabs onto him over that left shoulder, pulls him back to the mat, and Allen attacks Paul Craig's leg to get some kind of control in this situation. But his ultimate goal at this point is to stand up, so he lets go of it, attempts to stand up again, but then Craig attacks his leg, which Allen turns over the Craig defense to this, and they both stand up. Allen's much faster. He grabs a hold of Craig's back, lifts him up and slams him, returning the fight to the mat. In the second round, that's where you saw Allen put forward the 1-2 and gets countered by the left hook that lands with Craig's wrist. But Allen was able to land both of his punches, rocking Paul Craig, who desperately shoots at the single leg, which easily gets defended, and Craig goes to his back willingly. Allen did not force him to go on his back, so this was, of course, the same old thing with Paul Craig, always looking for a way to get to his back, and also getting the half guard position very often, and eventually Brendan Allen was able to get right into full mount. With an uncharacteristically open guard for Paul Craig, it was a very easy pass to full mount for Allen. But just like always, Craig is able to recapture the half guard and get that lockdown again on the same leg, which throws off the balance of his opponent. So you can see here, Allen goes for the arm triangle, and he has it locked in. You don't need as much of a drastic angle like a rear naked choke on the neck, right? So you don't have to be completely to his back, but you could be kind of rotated enough to his side to get this choke in. And Craig does not attack the grip. He does not attack everything up here around his head. He attacks the leg. He uses his leg control to get out of this. This is some high level stuff from Paul Craig. So by forcing over that lockdown further out to his own right side, Brendan Allen starts rotating over, weakening the choke, so he ultimately lets go of it. Also, he was probably kind of anxious there of getting to his back because Paul Craig was rotating him with that lockdown. And you could see Allen post with his left elbow to hold that top position. And here's where he lands some beautiful elbows in very good places, precise, well-timed elbows, and he's showing a contrast to Gelton Almeida, who fought Derek Lewis. A lot of people were questioning why Almeida did not throw enough ground and pound. This is an example of what he could have done. This is exactly what I talked about in that fight. You don't have to go crazy with the ground and pound trying to pummel your opponent. You could just find 1 or 2 big shots and moments, just like Brendan Allen did here. And Brendan Allen was landing ground and pound shots while Paul Craig was looking to get him in submissions and scramble. So you have to think here, why only defend here? If I could defend while ground and pounding at the same time and it does not hurt my ability to defend the submissions and the scrambles, I should be throwing punches and elbows at the same time as well, as long as the motion is the same. So Paul Craig throws up his right leg and he has that left leg on the inside, creating a lot of separation between them two. He's moving Allen to his right side there, and while Allen is moving to the right, he throws a hammer fist in the same direction at the same time. Then Allen threatens him with a can opener. He's pulling his head in, which causes Craig to look to posture up, and as he's leaning to his own side, Allen hits him with a clean elbow, very quick, very short, but super effective. This is intelligent ground and pound from Brendan Allen. I think toward the end of the second round is where Paul Craig was starting to break. So he eventually gives up his back, does not stop the hooks from getting in, and nearly gets submitted by a rear naked choke. It's a bit too late, only 2 seconds left of the round, and Allen did not have his left grip there yet. Paul Craig was holding on to it, and this just carried over right into the third round. That's where Allen hurt him with that 3-punch combo. He went with a lunging left hook to the body, then put that up top. So you don't see a lot of fighters actually throw a left hook to the body and then the same hand up top. Caught him clean with those, and then a right hand, which seemed to have hurt Paul Craig, who desperately shoots again, fails on the takedown attempt, gets put into a guillotine, and Allen was easily able to get toward his back and threaten him with a choke without getting both hooks in. Notice here how Paul Craig is focused on hand fighting one arm. He's trying to fight that one arm with both of his hands. 2-on-1 is always stronger, but as soon as Allen went in for the choke, you saw Paul Craig with his right hand try to put it behind his own head, stuff it in there, and he let go of the 2-on-1. So he's looking to defend the choke there, but ultimately does get submitted. Clean, dominant victory for Brendan Allen. I know Paul Craig is not the best kind of fighter in the world, but to beat him this way, a high-level submission artist, good grappler in this kind of fashion, is extremely impressive. This is a notable win for him. For his next fight, I would actually love to see him go up against Khamzat Chimaev, right? That would be fun to watch. Brendan Allen versus Khamzat? That would be incredible. So I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown, and if you did, make sure to give this a like, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video.